Good morning and welcome to my YouTube channel. This is RB, the Tractor Man, and got an exciting project today. If you're just tuning in, thank you for joining us. So a little background history, start us off here. Just recently moved. We're in the process of getting the shop set up and we got tons of things to work on and kind of have a down day today. It's kind of overcasted, mid 70s. And I've got this project here I need to do something with. Kind of give you a recap here. This particular machine was purchased for mainly the rear tires for another Ford. It's actually a Ford Jubilee, but parts are interchangeable. And so they robbed the tires off this to get the Jubilee going. And meanwhile, this thing is just sat here and in parts condition. So what I'd like to do today is I need to get this thing moved, and if you've ever tried to move a tractor without all of its wheels on there, it's not fun. So I've got the tires that they pulled off of the Jubilee, and my thought is to go ahead and put them on here. Even though they're pretty bad shape, at least it gets it all on fours, so to speak, and I'll be able to move it around where I want to go. So I bought some hardware to do that with. We'll go over that in a little bit. And the goal with this video is we're going to go ahead and get this thing back up on wheels and hopefully get it moved out of here. Now, if you're just new, this is a Ford 8-in tractor, the most typical Ford out there. This was a pretty popular unit. There was the 8-in, 9-in, some submodels, and then Jubilee, and they're all pretty much the same. The Jubilee is the golden child of this model, so everything that farmers requested on this model and all the enhancements is what they put on the Jubilee. So, you know, this is a great old tractor. I haven't looked at the serial number. If I had to guess, maybe 1948. It seems to be like when they were really popular. So, yeah, what we'll do is we'll go ahead and get wheels on this thing. Hopefully the brakes aren't locked up, because it could be a pain. The clutch, that's the worst thing with these, is the clutch is freezing up. So we should be able to move it regardless. That's where we're at. Let me show you the hardware I had to get in order to make this project happen. In order to put the wheels back on, I've actually got the bolts to put the hubs back onto the axle, but to put the rim onto the hub, the bolts are all in really bad shape and the nuts are missing. It's fine thread bolt. So what I really needed to do was replace bolts, and I was looking at it. It takes 6 per side, and there's only 3 bolts in there, and I'm thinking the other ones maybe held wheel weights. But so I was kind of in a dilemma. I'm like, do I only get 6 bolts, or do I go ahead and get 12? And I decided to go ahead and get 12, the full set. And the reason behind that is eventually, I'd like to do something with this tractor. If it's get a teenager involved and let them restore it or something. I think it'd be just better to go ahead and get all the bolts at the same time. So that's what I did. I got all the stuff that we're going to need to do that with, and, expensive. That's why when you're at yard sales, you always grab nuts and bolts, because it adds up quick. So what we're looking at in this tray is almost $42 worth of materials to do this, but it needs to be done. And I tend to like to try to do things right within what I'm capable of doing. So yeah, so that's what we'll do. I'm going to go ahead, I think, and we'll start cleaning up around the tractor, kind of assess it, maybe get a jack over here, because we're going to need to, I'm sure, jack up the rear to get tires underneath it, and we should be able to have some fun today. So let's get started. I'm just kind of clearing up all around it here. I think that's the best thing to do. You may go ahead and grab the weed eater and clean up underneath. Um, and then I got some wheel weights. I'll get those just moved around with the tractor. I'm not going to put them on right now. I've got one tire that's loaded. You may have saw me struggling to move it from this side over to where I've got them stashed. And so, yeah, we'll do that. We'll get everything cleaned up and ready to go. The one thing I'm going to do right now, though, I'll take these hubs off, set them to the side, and then we're going to hit these bolts with penetrating oil and start getting stuff freed up on them. I think it's going to be a little bit easier once we start putting things back together. All right, we got the work area all cleaned up, going along great here. So I think the next thing we're going to do is we're going to work on the wheels. I need to bust the old bolts out of them and get things cleaned up. And I think what we're going to do is we're going to put the hubs back onto the wheels assemblies, and that way it makes it easier to wiggle the wheels underneath the tractor when we go to bolt them back on. So I was thinking about the best way. I was going to put the hubs back on this first, but then I'd have to line things up, and with that one wheel being really heavy, being loaded, I think I'm going to fight it. So I think it's going to be easier if I have them all in there, and then I can wiggle it around right in place. So yeah, let's go ahead and get set up and do that, and that'll be our next process. All right, so we got the bolts all out of there. The next step is going to be to get the hub in there and then start getting bolts fed through. So that's what we're going to do. Just making sure rotation-wise, stems on the inside. That's a good thing to do with ag tractors, as outside usually you tend to get up against things and bust the stems off. So that's what we're going to do. Let me go ahead and get set up here. Should be able to start with one of these. So close. All right. There we go. That one is hung. Look at that. Let's do this. One in. See if we can balance this a little bit more on the, there we go. Look at that. Okay, let's go ahead and go around and do that. All right, we got one hub bolted on to the rim. So this will actually be the tire for the other side. I'm going to go ahead and kind of stage it over there, bring the other one over, and we'll do the same thing to it. I'm not going to record it. It's going to fight me. I'm probably going to use a couple of words that I probably shouldn't use, but there we are. So, yeah. All right, I know I said I wasn't going to record it. As I was moving around, guess what I found? Got me a nice big old black widow. Take care of them. There you go, turkey. Big old boy, girl. Seem to be our two things in California: black widows and rattlesnakes. So we'll go ahead and take care of that. Get this cleaned up. I'm gonna go ahead and bust this one out right here. I got a good solid surface, and I think I can lay that hub right in and work on it easily. Go ahead and draw these bolts out. Oh yeah, that one's stuck good. Alright, just like new. One in. So we got the hubs on the wheels. Obviously the tractor's going to have to come up. So I think the next step is we need to go ahead and get that jack out, get it underneath there, and get this thing up in the air a little bit more. Not sure how much we're going to go. I'm pretty okay with it stabilized wise because it still has the blade on there, so it's not going to cantilever. So I think I'm just going to put the floor jack underneath it, and that should give us enough room to tilt one way or another, let down slowly, line it up, and get one wheel mounted, and then we'll do the same to the other. Okay. Shall we drag one wheel over and see how close we are? So this one is actually the loaded tire, so it's really heavy. What do I mean by loaded? Well, it's got water or some kind of liquid in it for a weight factor. Do that for weight when you don't have weights. So this is what we'll have to do. This will give us an idea as to how high we will have to come up. We are going to have to come up probably about 3 inches, 4 inches. Alright guys, so sorry my other camera went dead here, or I forget here. So I just got a couple jack stands. I'm going to put them underneath the back feet like that. That'll keep it from seeping all the way back down. Then I've got a block, and we'll go ahead and put a block underneath this jack. No sense pulling out another jack. This will work just fine. So yeah, let me go ahead and get that block set up. I think I can set you guys up right here on the tailgate and see what we're doing. How about that view right there? That work for you? Alright, so I don't usually trust cinder blocks, but give me some momentum while we put this other one in. Okay, where we at? So close. We need to come up literally like a quarter of an inch. Look at that. We're on, folks. Alright, let's tighten these puppies down on this side. Alright, we got the wheel on that side. Now before we rearrange here, we're going to go ahead and make sure we pull that cinder block out, as well as this jack stand, and we'll get reset on the other side. Alright, so we got that wheel on, got the other wheel on, looks much happier. I think what we'll go ahead and do is we'll get the jacks and stuff put away. I'm going to grab a little bit of water, take a minute to break, and then what I'd like to do next is I think go ahead and knock this hitch off. We'll get this out of the way. Be a lot easier to move with it off. Then I'll get the compressor drug out here, and we will find out if tires hold air or if they're going to explode or just leak right out the door. So that's where we're headed. Busted a nail. Owie. Well, it happens to the best of us guys. I knew I shouldn't have pried on that, but I did it anyways. Let's see if we can set this thing down and pick it up and move it where it belongs. Alright, let the fun begin. Let's go start with this tire and see what we can do. Let's see what it does. What do you think about that? That's actually holding a little air. I say let's push our luck and try this one. £30 on that one. Let's try this one.
she's back on all four. This is going to be our bad tire. We got a split right there, and it is leaking. It's not going to hold much more air. So, and it does have water in it. Yeah, fun. Not the best of shape, but guess what, guys? She's moving. I'm not even going to bother firing up the compressor again. It's just going to leak out on that one. So, other ones are all up. That'll make it easier to move. I think I need to go ahead and get this thing moved now. Alright, I think it's time to see if we can get this thing to move. Let's get it out of the way here and see what's next. Alright, tractor is moved, finally. I was going to move this rock. I moved it a little bit, going to put it in the bucket, and wasps started swarming around it. So I think that there were some ground hornets probably nested underneath it. So I'll let them settle down, find a new place, then I'll move it. Don't feel like getting stung right now. So I put the tractor back here. It's out of the way for right now. Yeah. So I don't know nothing about this tractor. I don't know if it was running when they got it or what. I'm kind of thinking that I might just kind of go through it real quick. Next, maybe do a Will It Run series. Hope you guys enjoy this content. I'm going to go ahead and cut this off here. And I think that'll be the next project we work on, is getting this thing running. So thanks for tuning in. That isn't exactly, I guess this is just a quick video to get wheels on this thing, get it moving. So I hope you enjoyed it, and we will be doing lots more around this place. This kind of kickoff as to what's going on. So we'll catch you on the next one.